Okay, tales from the big Biden Xi Jinping summit in San Francisco. First and foremost, got up bright and early this morning. I want to get the rundown of what was taking place. First thing I saw was, Biden gaffe. He was asked by the media after he had a little question answer thing with the media about whether or not he still considers Xi Jinping a dictator. Now, he made those comments in the past. I think this was right around the time the whole Chinese spy balloon thing was taking place. And he said, Biden said, he is different. I'm paraphrasing, different system than ours, but yeah, he is. I don't think that that's what his handlers wanted him to say. They kind of ushered him off and kicked all the reporters out pretty quickly. At this point in time, and I'm being honest, and I think that even the Democrats and leftists out there would agree that the guy shouldn't be taking questions off the cuff. He shouldn't be taking questions off the cuff. And again, you're going to have a lot of conversation taking place about this, and Xi Jinping sizing up Joe Biden and what he thinks about Joe Biden. China, they're not stupid. Xi Jinping is not stupid. They recognize, like we should recognize here, that Biden's not calling all the shots. Okay, he hasn't been calling all the shots for a long time. Everybody cracks jokes about the weekend at Bernie's type of a president, but he has his handlers. He has his handlers. This is why he does not like holding press conferences. This is why they're going to do everything and anything that they can to avoid any sort of debates in this election. This is why even in, last time around, most of his campaign was held from a basement where he could avoid a lot of that nonsense. But anyway, I mean, I think that Xi Jinping is sizing up Biden. He's not sizing up Biden. He understands that the United States of America is not just the president of the United States. Let's take that and put that aside. Again, supposedly we received concessions from China when it came to the various different precursors to fentanyl, and those being sent over. Going to look to crack down on that. There was a back and forth also in regards to technology transfers. Basically, Xi Jinping came out and said that the United States and China, we can either be adversaries or partners, and he doesn't want, there can't be a middle ground there. And again, I've always fallen under the camp of trust but verify. And has China taken advantage of our good graces over the years? Yes, they have. But we allowed that. I mean, we allowed a lot of this stuff to happen. And this is go back to the Clinton administration. And the technology transfers that took place with Loral Space and the advancement that they had in missile technology based upon the stuff that, in essence, we handed over to them. So again, there's pullback at this point in time, but it's been my point, my contention for a long time that this does not have to end up in some sort of hot war by any stretch, nor does it have to even be a Cold War type of a situation. People keep trying to frame it as such right now. And again, from us Cold War kids, wasn't a lot of business being done between the United States and Russia during the Cold War, where it's most certainly different right now. And last night, there was also a major big dinner with some major U.S. companies, corporate titans, they're calling them. And they gave him a round of applause in talking about, again, trying to alleviate bilateral tensions, emphasizing the room for both nations to work together. And again, that's what I'm pushing for as well. I mean, that's what I'd like to see happen. That's what I think that we can achieve. And I've said this again, it's not in their interest to engage in any sort of hot war either. It's not. Now, when the point of Taiwan has come up, it was a bit of a back and forth there with, China is, basically saying, listen, they have their one China policy. That's what they want. They ask questions about us continuing to arm Taiwan. I don't know how it's going to end up. Again, we've covered it here on the program, talking about, the overall feelings of the Taiwanese people and whether or not they're even willing to go to war. Much like, watching what's taking place in Ukraine right now. I don't even think that they have that type of fervor. And again, if you follow along the lines of the thinking, the multi-millennial thinking of China is they don't like firing shots. They don't like to go to war. They like to, and what they've throughout their history, almost assimilate their neighbors and other cultures. And again, I find it fascinating. Again, for extended periods of time, they were the most advanced society on the planet by far. By far. GDP was bigger, a myriad of different things. And again, they failed on a myriad of times because they said, screw this, we don't need the rest of the world, and shut their borders and said, we don't want to do business. And then again, it led to problems and conflicts that they eventually had. Their arrogance kind of tore them down, thinking that, what do you mean? Europe is going to come and they're going to take advantage and they're going to, do business. No, they didn't think it was possible. But it's always been their thinking is that they want to assimilate, not assimilate. People think assimilate. They think of that Star Trek bad guys there, the Borg, who wants to, in essence, they want to infect and assimilate. Now, this is not what they're doing. They want people, and this has been pretty much their history. It's almost like a tribute system by neighboring countries, which had taken place for an extended period of time. I believe that I think that they want to, that their desire is to invade Taiwan and to invade these other places. No, I do not. I think that, again, they're offering an alternative and they're looking to get people to come over to their side. Why do you think they're going around the globe and spending all of this money and investing here, there, and everywhere? And many of these investments now, the way that they were structured, haven't worked out well. And many of these countries are pushing back against some of these overtures by the Chinese government over the years. Some have not. Some are saying, like I mentioned yesterday on the podcast, famous quote there. So, we get a lecture from the Americans on a regular basis, probably from John Kerry in regards to some sort of green nonsense. China builds us an airport. China builds us a bridge. And again, that's how you want to compete. You want to bring people over to your side. So again, I know they've got a lot of hawks out there. Got a lot of hawks here in this country, constantly talking about the threat, the China adversary, the, big scary, and they're going to look to take us over. I don't see that happening. Do I think that we have the proper leadership at this point in time to, kind of channel this relationship and move it forward and make it productive? No, but again, like I said, the Chinese are not stupid. I think that they're well aware. They're well aware of the Joe Biden's position, and they're well aware of how this country works. And there's going to be somebody new in there eventually at some point in time. They're at a weak moment, a very weak moment. And I can't stress this enough. This is what happens when you centrally plan an economy. You get waste, you get empty buildings, there's so many issues that are affecting their economy right now. And none of it good. None of it good. The fact that people don't want to get married, they don't want to have kids, they don't see much of a future. They've got a deflationary spiral. People aren't spending money. Their assets are dropping in value. Kids can't get jobs. We can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So they need us. There's no doubt about the fact that they need us. The idea that all of a sudden that they're going to, step into and take Taiwan by force and all of a sudden it's going to solve all of their problems. It's not. It's going to make their problems worse. And they know that. They want to assimilate Taiwan with Taiwan saying, hey, you know what? We want to come over to China. That is their ultimate goal. And again, it's, I suggest, you can do this on your own, pick up some books. Kissinger's got a great book on China that I highly recommend, and trying to understand who your adversary is. WatchDog on WallStreet.com.